What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and we're doing something a little bit different just for this one video, kind of an emergency style broadcast here. I want to talk about the review scores for Black Myth Wukong. We're going to do it through a kind of phone type video. This is very hard for me because I tend to use my hands a lot, so I'll keep it short, keep it simple, but want to go over the scores. As of the time of me recording this, we're sitting at about an 82, I believe, on Metacritic. And, I like to look at these scores, look at what the journalists, are saying, and, look, I'm not one to go completely based by them. In fact, I'm not really one to go based on them at all. I'm getting this game, right? No matter what. This was always the game that was going to kickstart really the fall period for me. And overall, it's doing pretty darn well, right? 82. It seems like the negatives are kind of consensus, though, which makes me believe that maybe there's something to it, right? Again, like it's not, one person's weakness might not be, say, my weakness, right? But there's a couple things that keep coming up. One of which is, I think it's kind of already been known / reported, they only got to play it on PC, right? Like all the reviews going live right now are all on PC. No console ones either were sent out in the first place or at least not reviewed, right? So all these scores are on PC. And one of the issues that are being talked about is the performance. Some, I think, had a worse time, like a worse experience than others. I saw a lot of that this game is going to push your PC to the max, that even to the best spec PC out there, you're going to have a hard time. And it really needs like a day one patch or second patch, right? A day two patch or something. So that's something that, again, like while the score is like an 83 versus an 85, what's really the difference, right? Well, if the performance doesn't work and if it, crashes your PC or you're unable to play it, right, that could be an actual problem. So just to throw that out there, the performance was one. And it seems like, and this is not necessarily a weakness, I guess, depending on the person that you are, it seems like this really is a boss gauntlet game. I saw some people kind of being divided on this, right? There were some that said, hey, it is a visual spectacle. You're going from kind of one location to the next. Some people said I think the locations kind of like repeat too often, but some said that, some didn't, right? But you're going around and it looks nice, right? Like everything looks good to see on Unreal Engine 5 and the bosses are super, super cool, but there's not a lot that happens outside of that, right? It's boss fight, then a little section in between another boss fight, and there's a story. I think it's a little like, I guess like experimental. I don't really even know like the word to kind of explain it, but there is a story. I think the culture is something, like the cultural, I guess, representation is something that was talked very, very highly on, right? So I would say the only other issue that I saw besides the performance was, it's kind of, I guess, linear / the game is what it is. And it might feel to an extent like their first game. Like you imagine if they were to make, say, like a sequel or just another game in general, that it might, start to expand and there'd be more enemy types, in between bosses, in between, boss 5 and boss 6. But, to me, as we were getting closer to this game, we heard about the boss gauntlet like possibility, and I kind of just started to prepare myself for it, where it's like, if this is a game that's like Stellar Blade, like the Jedi Fallen Order type things, right? That's okay. Like the game looks really, really fun. It looks actually like visually really, really nice, right? And then if as long as the bosses are good and they present the challenge, then you have a pretty solid game. Now, I tried to read as many of these reviews as possible, by the way. I saw a couple, not all, maybe like 3 or 4, that talked about the difficulty spikes. And this is something that did pique my interest because you do, I think, have to be on the lookout for something like this with a game like this, right? And basically, from those 3 or 4 people, they say the game does have like some big spikes. So you'll be facing one boss and the next boss will just be unbeatable and it'll really be frustrating to you. So, again, that could just be based off the skill level, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that are obviously up to the person and up to the, player experience, like how good you are, right? So, for me, is the game kind of, it got the scores that I thought it was going to get. I predicted, I think, an 83 to an 85. When I woke up or actually when they went live, just immediately, it was an 83, so I actually nailed that, and now it's down to an 82. There actually are some perfect 10 out of 10s. There's like 3 or 4, maybe even more, perfect scores. There's a lot of 8s. There's a lot of like 8.5s. And then there actually are quite a few like 6s. I think like the 6s and 10s kind of balance it out, to be quite honest with you. But I'm still getting the game. I'm excited for the game. It's not necessarily everything I thought it was, at least from the reviews, right? Like, again, it's not necessarily a perfect game from what we're seeing, but hey, make your own decision, as I always say. This is always, like I said, the game that I was going to get no matter what to start off the period, but there you go. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you think of this style of video. I don't plan on doing this often, actually, at all. My arms are hurting, so this is probably it, but I appreciate you guys watching this video. I'll see you soon. Other videos are already pre-recorded, so they won't be like this, and I'll be getting Black Myth on Tuesday, so I'll do a couple videos on, I'll do my own review, and we'll take it from there, okay? Thank you for watching. I'll see you all on the next one.